If you use a rubric in your course because you're required to or because you want to, then hopefully you're using the embedded rubric tool in your LMS. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to do this with Sakai in case you're not already doing so. Hey there, this is Erica from Ever Educating, and this channel is teaching tips, tools, ideas, and resources for new college instructors. I'm losing access to Sakai in a couple months, so I've been doing videos about the different features, different tools that I found really helpful when I was teaching, so I'll link those other videos below. But today I'm going to show you how to do the embedded rubric, and keep in mind it's a point system rubric, so it's not going to transform the points into a percentage grade automatically. So I do have a video about how to do that I'll link below as well. So the first thing you want to do is go to the rubrics tool. If you don't have it in your sidebar already, you want to go to site info, then manage tools, add the rubric, and then click save so it's added to your sidebar. I show you how to do that in other videos, so I'm not going to do so here. But in this case, you end up on the rubrics page, and all you're going to do is click add rubric. And so now we have a rubric here, and we're going to name it. And so maybe it's argumentative paper 1. And then you have 2 criteria, and then you have 3 range and a 5 range. So all the edit icons are right here. If you want to go ahead and only use 3, then you can get rid of 2 of them. So now it's equal. And then obviously you can match up the names by just clicking edit here and typing out the right one. And you also go in and you say, okay, well, what's the first criterion for this paper? And it's going to be MLA. What does that mean? It means that the header, heading, internal citations, and works cited are all MLA. Second criterion is an argumentative thesis. Third criterion is going to be the paper structure, and so on. And you can again add descriptions there. Then you have whatever you want to call these. I'm just going to keep it as is currently. So you go ahead and edit, and you say, okay, well, how many points is inadequate? So let's say maybe it's 1. And what does inadequate mean? So no elements are in MLA. What does meet expectations mean? Most of the elements are in MLA. And then exceeds expectations, everything is in MLA. Right? So then you have that description of what these elements mean. So I do highly recommend to make sure that you have a description of the criterion and a description of what it means to fall into these categories. Because by doing that, when you're getting feedback individually, you can just have the student rely on a lot of this description of, well, why did you get 1 point? Because you have nothing in MLA. You know, why did you get 3 points? Because everything was in MLA. But then you could have the individual feedback as more, hey, here are your areas of strength, here's our areas for improvement, great job on this. Like, it can just be more personalized, and they can use a rubric as an understanding of how they got the points that they did. So argumentative thesis, you know, in this case, you want to decide 2. It doesn't have to be the same amount of points between them, even though it's the same 3 categories. So you might have the thesis is actually going to be worth double what the being an MLA is. Perhaps that's how you want that math to work out. And the paper structure is obviously a huge one. And so in this case, it's actually going to be 6 points here, 12 points, and 18 points. And you kind of keep going down the list. So this is how you build your rubric. Now, let's say you go to assignments, and here's one that I had, and we go down here, and we say grade this assignment, and the max points, what did we have there? 3, 6, and 18. So what, 27 points? Kind of strange. And we're going to use a rubric called argumentative paper 1, You can preview it here. This is what it looks like. Yes, that's the right one. Okay, and then do we want to hide the rubric from students, or do you want them to see it? I recommend showing the students the rubric, so again, they can use that as a part of their feedback as well. And then do you want to send that grade to the gradebook or not? I will usually do this. I'm not going to click that just because this is one of my old courses. So go ahead and post that. So here you are. You click grade. You go down. Here's the first student. You go here. And here is a rubric icon. You click that. And now you say, okay, they did not do any MLA, but they met expectations of having a thesis that's argumentative, and their paper structure was amazing, right? And so now you have that. Save in the tool to publish the rubric to the student. So keep that in mind. So you say done here. How many points? They got 23 points. Then you want to add a comment. Here's the comment that's individualized to them. And you click done, and now they have that. You could also add an attachment if you want to, if you need prior notes to yourself. And then you say save or save and release to the student. So this clicking is what makes this a much faster process, because it automatically does the amount of points for you when you click where they fall. Something to keep in mind is that this is one option, the point system, but if you wanted to, you can go ahead and it's locked because it's already being used. But let's say we go ahead and copy this. And now you can start editing it. Well, one thing to note is here, this hashtag, if you click it, then it switches to weighted grading. So rather than having just the point system, you can say, I want MLA to weigh 10% of the overall grade for this assignment. I want the argumentative thesis to be 10%. I want the paper structure to be 50%. And so you can add that element as well. So rather than having the points totals being what's creating the weight for these elements, it's actually the weight you're giving it instead. So for now, let's just say 25% is the MLA, and 25 is that it's an argumentative thesis, and then 50 is that the paper structure is strong. And so you can save the weights, save successfully, and so now you have that for this second rubric. So if you click here for paper 1 instead, if you preview it, you have the point system, right? But it's actually saying how much is it worth in the scheme of this paper structure instead. And so again, you have whatever order you want here when you click them, and it will do it for you. If you found this helpful, click like and let me know. Subscribe if you want to miss out on any future content. And if you have something that you want to learn about Sakai in the next couple of months, let me know in the comments below so I can do a video on that before, again, I won't be able to anymore in the future. I'll see you next time with a new video.